What is up, fellow travelers? Aaron the Old Man Gamer here, and we're back with some more Old School Game Tyme featuring Ultima 4 Remastered. And we are back here at the Dungeon Destard. If you recall, we went in here and somehow ended up in another dungeon because all dungeons in Ultima 4 are connected at the bottom. So we didn't end up getting this stone from this dungeon, so that's our mission for today. So we're going to go in here and try to find the stone in Dungeon Destard. So ignite a torch, take a look at what we've got here. So we could go pretty much any direction. So we're facing east, so we go over 2 and then turn, go through a secret door. So 2, turn, go through a secret door, and there is a ladder. Alright, what do we got now? So there's only one way down, so we go straight and then through a chamber. So there is another ladder here, and a slime. Luckily for us, slimes are not very dangerous. Alrighty, that's that. And some bugs. Alright, spider boys, it's time to party. Hope you brought your lunch, because this is going to be a long one. Well, maybe not for us, but for them. Of course, these are special spiders. They are able to spit poison long distances. And I'm poisoned. Thanks a lot, guys. Luckily for us, we stocked up on reagents before coming here. Alright. There we go. So we go through here, and there's a dungeon chamber. Been here before. Nothing special. Just a bunch of nixies. Okay. All those guys are dead. We can pass through this room and go downstairs. Okay. So now we're on level 3. Let's check out the lay of the land. Alright, where are we at? So we go straight through that dungeon chamber, and there is a ladder down. I believe we just go straight through. Yeah, and then we should be a ladder directly in front of us. Alright, level 4 time. What do we got here today? Alright, so we've got a lot of gold and a ladder down. So we go south, and then we go towards our left. Now these are phantoms and not force fields, as we've seen before. Not particularly strong, but pain in the butt nonetheless. This should lead us to the ladder down. Here we are. It's on level 5. Okay, what do we got on level 5? Alright, looks like there's 2 different ladders down, so we'll go for the one to our west first. So just go straight. Oh joy, gremlins. Luckily for us, gremlins are not that strong. The problem with gremlins is they can steal your food. And while we may have plenty of food right now, losing food to a gremlin is not a good thing. Okay, we've gotten that taken care of. We go west. Let's go with this one first. Okay, let's take a look. I don't see anything down here, so we're going back up. So we go back this way. And we go north. Alright, what's over here? So we've got two different ones. So we've got one to the east and to the west. Let's try west first. Oh, hello. Looks like we found it. So, we are facing west. Let's go south. And west. Okay, we have found the red stone. Awesome. We're only 13 minutes in, which is cool. So what we're going to do, we will mix some reagents for the spell exit and we get our butts out of here. So that will leave us with only one stone left. So we need blood moss, spider silk, and sulfur sash. Okay. Alright, so now we are done delving the dungeons looking for stones. So we have one more stone that we need to get, and that is the white stone. And that is not located in a dungeon. So if I remember correctly, there's two ways to get it. One is to find a means of transportation that will take you over the mountains. The other is to be able to locate the area and use a blink spell. So we're going to try the blink spell route first. Oh joy, it's a bell run. Nothing quite like a bell run to ruin your afternoon, right? Oh boy. Luckily, we were able to kill that bell run. Unfortunately, a good chunk of our party is asleep. All right. Hopefully this won't take too long, combat-wise. Gotten through all of that mess, and there's some heavens. Oh, bloody hell, look at this mess. It's a giant monster cluster. Honestly, if there's one gripe I have about this game is that the amount of combat you get into in the later stages of the game, once you got to the point where you're a certain level, it's really kind of ridiculous. It almost artificially extends the game because you spend all of your time fighting, and because you're fighting all the time, you're not progressing anywhere. It's like even though my party is fairly overpowered for most of these monsters, it still takes a considerable amount of time to get rid of everything. And because you spend all your time fighting, like I said, you're not getting places. And I think in some ways, it's like you have spells like gate travel and blink to sort of move you along, but it shouldn't take you 45 minutes to walk 30 steps. Okay, and we've got skeletons. Like I said, it shouldn't take you 35 minutes to walk, 40 steps or 30 steps. It gets kind of egregious at a certain point. As much as I like this game, this particular level of grindiness, I wouldn't even call this grindiness. This is artificial game extension right here. Okay. Alright, where are we at here? Oh, come on, there's some orcs. Oh, this should be right near Trinsic. So, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hole up right here for a second, and we can chat for a bit while we're waiting for Moongate. No? Okay, or maybe not. Let's zap ourselves somewhere else. Oh, great. It's Poison Funland. Not the place I wanted to go. Yeah, if Disneyland's the happiest place on Earth, Magentia is the most miserable place in the universe. Oh well, what can you say? It's Magentia. Here we are. I think that will take us near Lord British's castle. Please, 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 no. It's Scarbray. Scarbray's not a bad place. It's just on an island, and we can't really go anywhere unless we have a boat. And you don't want to have a boat out in the middle of the ocean because the whirlpool will eat it, and then you'll be stuck on the island anyway. Now, realistically speaking, I could mix up a blink spell and shoot myself off to the mainland, but then we'd have to deal with the giant monster cluster again. And that's no fun either. So, this is the part of the game where things start coming to a head. So we've gotten to the point where we're level 8. We are able to get everybody in our party. We can start leveling everybody up and preparing ourselves for the Abyss. So we've only gotten one part of our avatar hood so far, but we are probably able to get all of the other ones. If not, we're very close. So we can, if we head back to Lord British's castle, we can check to see how close we are with everything, or we can just hit the shrines and let them do their thing. So we have all the mantras, we have all the runes. We're just missing one step. So, let's see where this takes us. Somewhere good, please. Well, it's not Magentia, but it is another poison-filled funland. Well, there is the Shrine of Valor. Let's see. No, that's Poison Funland up there, too. Okay, well, I guess we're going to be chatting for a little while longer while we wait for this Moongate to take us somewhere that's not an island. And you consider there's only a couple of Moongates that'll lead you to an island. Okay, so let's see where this takes us. And we're back to Magentia. Joy. We are hitting all the fun spots in Britannia right now. So I get the feeling all of these moon gates are connected, where we get to go to all of the spots that are like poison-filled fun places. That's okay, we don't have to worry about expending resources while we wait for this thing. So, what we really need to do is get back towards Britain, because that's where the mountain range we need to be in is. If my memory serves me correctly, and this is from 30 years ago, because I did go back and play this again not long, I guess relatively not long ago. Oh, here we are. We are here near Trinsic. So we can get to Britain from here by walking, but I get this feeling this is going to be another monster-filled suckathon here. Kinda wish I had my boat, because at least I could cannon these guys when I had my boat. So I apologize if this is not the most exciting episode of Ultima 4 we've done so far, but as I said, once you get to this point in the game where your main character's level 8 and you have a fair number of people in your party, the encounter rates go up significantly. And when I say significantly, you've seen what it turns out looking like. You go 3 steps and you get into a fight, you go 3 steps, you get into a fight. You know, it takes you 45 minutes to get 30 steps. It's no fun, but what are you going to do? You know, because at this stage of the game, you're basically leveling up your guys for the Abyss. And if at all possible, you will want to have your guys in top form, because the Abyss is no joke. If my memory of the Abyss is correct, and it should be, you're talking... No, it's a lich, and he's in our way. Sir, we're gonna have to ask you to go somewhere else. Anyway, the Abyss... The Abyss is a dungeon, and even if you know how to get to the bottom, and I've done the Abyss a couple times over my lifetime, and none of them have been very fun, because they're almost like a torture test, because the Abyss in itself, from start to finish, I believe takes a minimum of about 2 hours. I don't think I've ever done it faster than 2 hours. So, once you get in, you can't stop. You have to have that kind of commitment going on, where you're saying, okay, I'm committed to doing this dungeon from beginning to end, because there's no stopping once you get in that dungeon, because you can't just save in the middle of the dungeon. You can only save on the surface. So, once you start the dungeon, you can't stop. And we're in a fight again. So, anyway, while we're engaged in this combat, I'll tell you some more about the Abyss. So the Abyss is a giant dungeon, much like all of the other dungeons we've been in, but the other dungeons we've been in have been relatively mild, because the number of dungeon chambers in most of the dungeons we've been in so far has been relatively minor. And the thing about the Abyss is that it's like some of the more complicated areas of the other dungeons we've been in, where you'd have several dungeon chambers in a row that you have to get through in order to progress. And in the case of the Abyss, a lot of these dungeon chambers are mandatory. You don't have a choice of bypassing them. And because of that, it takes time, because every dungeon chamber is essentially like a combat sequence, where there will be a monster in there, you have to fight it, you have to kill all the monsters, and then move your entire party through that room one by one. And there wasn't even any gold in there. Anyway. Okay. This is getting ridiculous here. I'm going to see if I can extricate myself from combat long enough to end this episode so you don't have to watch 400,000 combats between here and Britain. Because that's kind of what it's shaping up to look like. I don't want to sound too negative about this game, because really it's a groundbreaking type of game for when it was released. Most of these things that we see in here were later incorporated into better games that came out later. But this was the first. So, as I mentioned when we talked about Maginsia, where it was the original Poison Shit Show level. All future Poison Shit Show levels that we all hate and wish didn't exist came from Maginsia. So when you're talking about dungeon levels, bridge encounters, all these things were very much new and innovative at the time. However, because of the way these games are designed, the speed in which they play, turn-based RPGs are nice, but they are very, very time-consuming. And in the case of Ultima 4, when they started doing things like this, where the encounter level ramps up, where you're not just dealing with monsters, you're dealing with a substantial increase in the number of monsters, the level of the monsters themselves, and the monster variety. So if you recall, during the early stages of the game, when we were playing, we were only getting attacked by like orcs, bandits, and skeletons, basically. Now we're getting attacked by everything and its mother. So, when it comes to monster variety, we're seeing a great many different kinds of monsters going after us. We're also seeing a very large escalation in the number of monsters that we're seeing. Okay, look. This is getting ridiculous here. So, I'm trying to end the episode and trying to find an area that's safe for us to hole up and stop. But obviously, the game's not going to let us do this for the very reasons that I've been discussing. So what we're going to do here is we're going to end the episode here. And off screen, I'm going to try to get to Britain and then pick up there in the next episode. So that'll be for the next time. We'll start off in front of Lord British's castle, and then we'll try to find the area where the White Stone is hidden. So that's the plan for next time. So until then, I'll bid you all safe travels. We'll be back again soon with some more Old School Game Time and Ultima 4 Remastered. So until then, take care and stay safe.